And we're good. So just start off with your name, date of birth, and then proceed to whatever experiences you've had that you'd like to tell us.
Okay, my name. Should say my name first?
Yeah, just state your name and then date of birth.
I'm John Wasiewski. I'm an ex-tanker from World War II. My dad was in World War I. He fought in the Ardennes Forest. At the time of the Battle of the Bulge, we fought in the same area, on the same grounds, I believe, as my dad went through, where World War I was.
Wow.
Where he got gassed. We went through there and drove the Germans back in the Battle of the Bulge. And that was quite an experience. And my experiences in the services, we was in a number of different armies. We was under General Patton, who was a great general. We fought with him with the 3rd Army for quite a while. We went on through and met the Russians at the end, near the end of the war. We met the Russian troops, and the war finished like 2 weeks later after we met the Germans had surrendered. Also, my time in the Army was with a great bunch of men from the Midwest. And even today I have buddies that we still contact one another. We went through, I lost buddies in the battles. We landed in Utah Beach with the tanks. And we went from Utah until the end of the war. We had 196 continuous days of action without a break. Thank God I never got wounded.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, I was in there, and every one of us in that tank battalion was 18 and 19 years old, except for the officers.
Wow. How old were they usually, like 20?
But the officers that were in charge were in their 30s. They were older.
That's quite the age difference.
Yeah, because they were the cavalry, which the nucleus of the group.
Yeah.
They formed a new tank battalion, and we were the youngest one in the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
You know? And we were unattached. We were separate. We were a spearhead division. It was our job to make the holes for the different outfits. So we'd go through, and then the infantry would follow us.
Because the tanks would just clear the way for everyone else.
Clear the way, and they'd ride on the tanks when they had a chance.
Yeah.
When the opposition wasn't too great.
Yeah, because it's hard carrying all that gear.
And we had a number of battles we was in, and actually we fought the Free French by mistake for 3 days because of miscommunication.
Like, did they eventually say stop where the French resistance? Or
they were resistance forces. They had the same tanks as we did, and then they realized it. And the Air Force was bombing, and they were bombing us and them.
Oops.
By mistake. And then we were using a flag identification, a panel on the back of the tank. Every day was a different panel.
Yeah.
So the Air Force knew that we were the good guys.
Huh.
Because at one point, during the Battle of the Bulge, the Germans had captured some American tanks before that, and they were using them tanks beside their own
to confuse the Air Force, because otherwise they wouldn't bomb them.
That's right. It was quite an experience, and I'm glad I came through okay.
Yeah, we all are.
Huh?
We all are.
Yeah. And I had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 uncles in the service at the time too.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. And cousins, whatever. At that time, everybody was finishing high school and going into the Navy or the Army or the Marines. Mostly the fellows were going to the Navy because they had a place to sleep.
Yeah.
And it had a warm place.
Yeah.
And the tanks were very cold. In the winter, they had no heaters. And in the summertime, you got over 90 degrees inside when you find it up.
Yeah, what type of tank did you fight in?
It was the It was a medium tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Sherman.
Oh, yeah, the Sherman.
With a Sherman tank. And then as we progressed, then we got a larger tank. At the end, those were a 75 millimeter gun. Those was like a pea shooter. They were terrible. Then we got a 76 millimeter gun, and we fought the greater part of the war with that, which was more accurate. Then just before the war ended, we got the 90 millimeters, which was the real powerful gun.
Yeah.
But we got them in 3 months before the war ended, so it didn't mean too much.
Now, with the 90 millimeters, they were still in the Shermans, right?
Yeah.
There are ladies' room in here, do you know? Ladies' room? You don't know either.
There'd be one down there, but it's kind of small. So it's one for the kids. So I think there might be one
I'll ask.
by the library.
Yeah, the last tanks that I had seen down in Fort Knox when we had reunions, there's only 4 men, we had 5 men in the tank.
Wow.
And that was a gun.
And the Sherman isn't that big of a tank either. That's a lot of people to cram into a small
Yeah,
space.
you had 3 in the turret.
Three in there?
The gunner,
Wow.
the assistant gunner, and the tank commander, who used to look through the periscopes, stuff like this. Kind of crowded.
No, I thought I would expect only 3 tank crew members in the entire tank. I didn't expect 5.
Yeah, well, now in the new ones, there's only 4, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
The driver, the assistant driver, a gunner, and the loader.
Yeah. Some tanks don't even have a loader nowadays. Like for other countries.
Yeah. Well, we rode in the ones. They're totally different. They're air conditioned now.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nicer than the Shermans.
And you more or less recline in the seat rather than sit up.
Yeah. And it's not like the levers. It's like.
No, when we drove, we had like our tanks were with levers, where you had like you're driving the bulldozer.
Yeah.
That's the way it used to work.
Yeah.
You know, you pull this one and that one, and you had a double clutch every time.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I never knew.
The first tanks had 5 engines, Chrysler engines. They were stacked like this.
Wow.
So you can go through the water and drown out 2 and still call.
And still climb out with the other 3.
Yeah, the other 3 would take you through.
Never thought of that.
Yeah. And the small tanks they had with for reconnaissance was made by Cadillac, and they had a speed of 70 miles an hour.
70?
70.
But they couldn't be that much armor on those tanks now.
Not on that, not the light tank. No.
Yeah.
No, the light tank was actually for reconnaissance.
Yeah.
And you'd only have there's one company, a D company, that had those, and they do reconnaissance, but they found out that you're better off doing your own reconnaissance on foot.
Huh. Which kind of makes more sense, because it's harder to spread a bunch of soldiers than a large tank.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people got kidney trouble from riding in the tanks. Like when we figured out the mileage we covered was like 2,700 miles covered with those tanks.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah. You know, it was a wild time when they were training us on them down in Texas. They'd lose control.
No simulations, the real deal right off the bat.
In Louisiana, we trained in Louisiana there in the woods and stuff, and there was quicksand, and we lost the tank in the quicksand. It started to go through, and they couldn't retrieve it.
Yeah.
Couldn't bring it back up. Is this all on that camera now?
Yeah, it's going.
Oh. And they tried to retrieve that, and they couldn't get that. The suction was too great.
Yeah.
You know, pulled it down.
Just moving a little bit.
Yeah. Met a lot of nice fellas from the Midwest, and the majority of them were from Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia. They like their moonshine. Have it at every reunion.
Really?
Oh.
Not normal alcohol. Their moonshine.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Homemade stuff. And have it at every reunion in the refrigerator.
that's something.
Oh yeah, 110 proof.
Strong stuff.
Yeah, you can have good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 86 years old. That's all.
Yeah.
Like most of the fellas in the service are in their late 80s. You know, World War II.
Yeah.
I like to guess that's about it.
All right. Thank you.